They are definitely very verbal protesters. Where we're located is a very busy street, so you have to wait to cross the street. I'm waiting and they'll be like, go ahead and cross, it's safe. I thought you want to meet Jesus sooner. For someone to hate someone so much that they're telling them to go kill themselves is such a, again, a sad state to be in.
Oh, so they're across from the women's center.
Right.
So the women's center's on the other side of the street. Did you see that?
Piedmont Women's Center was started in 1991. Our first location is actually across the street, and it was built right next door to the Greenville Women's Clinic, which is the abortion facility here in Greenville.
Kayla and I connected through a former professor who taught both of us when we were in undergrad, and as I spent the day with Kayla and learned more about what God is doing in her life, I could not wait to share this story with you.
I am the Director of Development here at Piedmont Women's Center, and I have been at Piedmont Women's Center for almost 2 years, and I've been the Director of Development for almost a year.
But the way this story ended up unfolding really took me by surprise.
I was not prepared for this story. I thought I knew what we were doing.
The first thing that took me by surprise was the large number of BJU faculty, students, and alumni who are involved with the Piedmont Women's Center. I spoke to at least 3 BJU alumni who are employed by the center and saw several more alumni volunteering their time and energy. Kayla also spoke with me about the role BJU students play at the center on a regular basis throughout the semester.
Bob Jones is wonderful to get volunteers. Our nurse practitioners are the whole reason we're able to have our STI pap smear program, and they do our ultrasounds and pregnancy tests and stuff like that. So the nursing is a huge, huge help. We have a lot of the students come and volunteer doing service projects, making our facilities look clean. Recently, we have added social media volunteers who are under the age of 21 because there are so many students who are wanting to get involved, and we want to encourage their involvement in the pro-life movement without exposing them to too much before they're ready for it.
The next thing that surprised me had nothing to do with BJU and everything to do with the work that Piedmont Women's Center does every day. We had no idea we would meet Sandra when we first arrived on site, but Sandra's story ties in with Kayla's in a way that I could not have predicted in a million years.
So my name is Sandra Munoz Braidman, so I am pro-life. What makes me pro-life is, and I haven't shared this in many years, so when I was in my early 20s, I had an abortion. It affected my whole life after that. I was not a Christian. And because of that experience, I was never able to have children. It drove me to Christ. I started searching for answers, and I went to a church. The gospel was preached, and it changed my life from that day forward. It was May 18th, 1980.
The third thing that took me by surprise was the direct correlation between what the protesters say to Kayla on a regular basis and something life-changing that happened to Kayla and her family very recently.
What's the biggest thing you've had to overcome since graduation?
Yeah, so my biggest obstacle has been more on my personal side than professionally, and obviously it's affected professional as well. But my husband's little sister Faith committed suicide 3 months after I started working here. That grief, it's given me a lot of the perspective and the compassion towards our clients that I didn't have on a personal basis before that happened. And being able to understand the thoughts and feelings of a person that you can't see and the impact that that can have on someone made itself real to me in a way that it never had before because I don't interact personally with the clients. And that's what I've learned out of the obstacle, but for a while the grief was just overwhelming, and that'll be a lifelong struggle as I miss and love her forever. But it's also something that God can continue to use in my life to develop my character. God is perfect and almighty and way bigger than we could ever truly understand. And He cares so much for each and every one of us. And while those are all things that I knew before, going through that experience personally develops more of an understanding of that than it can just imagining what it would be like. I learned so much about who He was through the support I got from the church. people being the hands and feet of Christ and showing me comfort and compassion and love in that time taught me a lot about the character of God as well, and the support that and the love that he was showing me through the people he put in my life.
Both Kayla and Sandra experienced the loss of life ended prematurely. Both had to choose how they would respond.
Anything that draws me closer to Christ, I'm going to be thankful for. And so in the midst of the grief, I've learned gratitude.